Hello, welcome back to our channel. Today we will learn about the dramatic twist that's about to shake Salem to its core as two families stand on opposite sides of an emotional battlefield, one celebrating the greatest joy of their lives while the other grapples with a heartbreak that may never fully heal. A tale of two households. The upcoming week on Days of Our Lives promises to deliver one of the most emotionally charged storylines of the season, splitting Salem right down the middle between jubilation and devastation. On one side, we have the DiMera household, where Johnny DiMera and his beloved wife Chanel Dupper DiMera are preparing to welcome a new addition to their family through adoption. On the other side stands a group of individuals who have poured their hearts and souls into caring for this precious baby, only to watch him slip through their fingers. Leo Stark, Javi Hernandez, Ariana Ari Horton, and the biological father Aaron Green. The contrast between these two emotional extremes couldn't be more stark. And it raises an important question that will likely dominate conversations in Salem. When one family's dream comes true at the expense of another's heartbreak, can there be any real winners? The adoption of baby Tesoro, soon to be renamed Trey, will force everyone involved to confront difficult truths about love, sacrifice, and what it truly means to do right by a child. Johnny and Chanel's dream realized. For Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupper DiMera, the official adoption represents the culmination of a journey fraught with obstacles, setbacks, and moments when they wondered if they would ever become parents. The couple has faced numerous challenges in their quest to build a family, and now, finally, they're being handed the greatest gift imaginably, a beautiful baby boy, who will carry on the legacy of Salem's most respected families. The baby, previously known by the affectionate nickname Tesoro, which means treasure in Spanish, and perfectly captured how precious he was to his foster family, will now be formally renamed Trey, short for John III. This naming choice carries profound significance, as it honors the legendary John Black, a man who has been a pillar of strength and integrity in Salem for decades. The decision to name the baby after John Black demonstrates not only Johnny and Chanel's deep respect for family tradition, but also their desire to instill in their son the values of courage, loyalty, and unwavering moral character that John Black embodies. Belle Black will be the one to deliver the life-changing news, officially informing Johnny and Chanel that they are now the legal parents of this precious child. The moment promises to be filled with tears of joy, embraces, and the overwhelming realization that their family is finally complete. For Johnny, who has struggled with his own identity and place in the DiMera dynasty, this represents a chance to create something pure and untainted by the family's dark legacy. For Chanel, who has longed to nurture and raise a child, this is the answer to countless prayers and sleepless nights spent wondering if motherhood would ever be within her reach. Celebrations and family bonding. The joy radiating from Johnny and Chanel will ripple outward to encompass their extended families, bringing together two of Salem's most prominent matriarchs in a beautiful moment of unity. Paulina Price and Marlene Evans, women who have experienced their own share of triumphs and tragedies, will share a deeply meaningful bonding session as they prepare to welcome little Trey into their respective families. Paulina, with her fierce protective instincts and boundless love for her family, will no doubt see Trey as another precious grandchild to cherish and spoil. Her journey to this moment has been marked by her own struggles and the joy she's found in watching her daughter Chanel grow into a strong, capable woman. Marlene, meanwhile, brings decades of wisdom and compassion to her role as Trey's great-grandmother. Her presence in the baby's life promises to provide stability and guidance, drawing on her experiences as both a mother and a mental health professional who understands the complexities of family dynamics. The gathering will likely be filled with laughter, happy tears, and discussions about the baby's future, what kind of personality he'll develop, which family traits he'll inherit, hopefully the good ones, and the incredible life that awaits him with Johnny and Chanel as his parents. E.J. DiMera, despite his complicated relationship with many family members, will make an appearance to offer his congratulations to Johnny and Chanel. However, his presence will be tinged with sadness, as he must honor the promise he made to Amy Choi to stay completely out of his new grandson's life. E.J.'s painful promise. The situation with E.J. adds another layer of complexity to an already emotionally charged storyline. Amy Choi, in her role overseeing the adoption process, extracted a significant promise from E.J. He must maintain his distance from Trey and refrain from any interference in the child's upbringing. For E.J., a man who values family above almost everything else despite his morally questionable methods, this restriction cuts deeply. The reality that he cannot be a grandfather to Trey in any meaningful way will leave EJ struggling with unexpected emotions. He'll watch from afar as Johnny embraces fatherhood, unable to offer guidance, share wisdom, or build the kind of relationship that typically exists between grandfather and grandson. This enforced separation stems from EJ's notorious reputation and past actions. The DiMera family's decades-long involvement in international crime, scandal, and mayhem have made them household names in Salem for all the wrong reasons. Interestingly, EJ will find an unexpected source of comfort in Gwen von Leuschner, who knows something about being on the outside looking in when it comes to family matters. Gwen's own complicated history with family relationships will allow her to empathize with EJ's situation in a way that few others can. Their interaction promises to reveal a softer, more vulnerable side of EJ that viewers rarely see. Adding to EJ's troubles, he'll face conflict with Abe Carver, who will likely remind him in no uncertain terms to keep his word and avoid creating any additional problems for Trey's parents. Abe, as Paulina's husband and Chanel's stepfather, has a vested interest in ensuring that the DiMera family's darker elements don't cast a shadow over this innocent child's life. The other side, hearts breaking in silence. While champagne flows and congratulations abound in the DiMera household, a much different scene will unfold elsewhere in Salem. Leo Stark and Javi Hernandez, who served as foster parents to baby Tesoro and cared for him with genuine love and devotion, will face the crushing reality of saying goodbye. Despite their happiness that the baby has found a stable, loving family, the pain of separation will be almost unbearable. Leo and Javi had begun to envision a future with Tesoro as part of their family. They had changed diapers at 3 in the morning, soothed the baby through crying fits, celebrated his first smiles, and fallen completely in love with the little boy who had transformed their lives. There had even been discussions about officially adopting him themselves, with Leo and Javi prepared to overcome obstacles, including Leo's criminal past, to create a real family together. The bond they formed with Tesoro was genuine and deep, making the adoption by Johnny and Chanel feel like losing a part of themselves. Leo, who often uses humor as a defense mechanism, will likely struggle to maintain his usual witty facade as the reality of the situation sets in. Javi, whose nurturing nature made him a natural caregiver, will feel the loss acutely. Ariana Ari Horton adds another dimension to this heartbreaking situation. The young woman has grown deeply attached to baby Tesoro during his time in Salem, spending countless hours with him and developing the kind of bond that can't easily be explained or dismissed. For Ari, who has her own complicated family history, this baby represented something pure and uncomplicated, a source of joy in a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain. Ari's grief will be profound, and she finds an unexpected source of comfort in Aaron Green, the baby's biological father. Aaron's own emotional turmoil will be immense, as he grapples with the decision he made to sign away his parental rights. The two will lean on each other during this difficult time, with Ari offering Aaron reassurance that Trey is exactly where he needs to be, even as her own heart breaks. Aaron's crisis of conscience. Aaron Green finds himself in perhaps the most complicated position of anyone involved in this adoption drama. As the biological father, he only recently discovered that he had a son, and almost immediately after learning this life-changing news, he was faced with the decision to either claim his parental rights or sign them away. The speed with which everything unfolded left Aaron with little time to process the magnitude of what was happening. He signed the papers, officially relinquishing all claims to his son, but now second thoughts are beginning to creep in, plaguing him with questions about whether he made the right choice. Did he give up too easily? Should he have fought for the chance to raise his own child? What kind of man walks away from his own flesh and blood? These doubts will consume Aaron, leading him to open up to Tate Black about the situation. In a vulnerable conversation, Aaron will reflect on the surreal experience of discovering he has a son and then immediately signing away all parental rights before he even had a chance to truly know the boy. The pain in Aaron's voice will be evident as he struggles to reconcile what he did with what he's feeling now. Tate, who has his own connection to this entire situation, will listen and offer what support he can, though the conversation will undoubtedly stir up complicated emotions for him as well. Aaron will have to decide whether to live with his decision or take action to try to undo a choice that could put Johnny and Chanel's adoption in serious jeopardy and potentially trigger the confrontation that everyone has been dreading. Fortunately, Ari will be there to help Aaron work through his feelings. She reminds him that love sometimes means letting go, that doing what's best for the child isn't always what feels best for the adults involved. She assures him that Trey will have an incredible life with Johnny and Chanel, surrounded by family, resources, and endless opportunities. Her words will hopefully provide Aaron with the peace he needs to accept his decision and move forward, even though the pain may never completely fade. The potential for confrontation. The question hanging over all of these emotional storylines is whether the two sides, those celebrating and those grieving, will come into direct conflict. Will Leo, Javi, Ari, or Aaron feel compelled to confront Johnny and Chanel about the adoption? Will accusations fly about who deserves the baby more, or who would be better parents? The stage is certainly set for explosive confrontations. On one side, you have a couple backed by powerful families, financial resources, and social standing. On the other side, you have individuals whose love for the baby is just as real and profound, even if they lack the traditional markers of stability and privilege that adoption agencies typically look for. If Aaron's second thoughts lead him to take legal action, it could throw the entire adoption into chaos and force everyone involved to take sides. The DiMera and Price families would undoubtedly rally around Johnny and Chanel, while Leo, Javi, and their friends might feel compelled to speak up for the months of care and love they provided. However, there's also the possibility that cooler heads will prevail. Perhaps everyone involved will recognize that what matters most is Trey's well-being, not the egos or desires of the adults around him. Maybe the confrontation will remain a battle fought in hearts and minds rather than in dramatic public scenes, with everyone ultimately accepting that Johnny and Chanel truly are the right choice for this particular child. Looking ahead. As this storyline continues to unfold in the coming weeks, viewers can expect plenty of emotional moments, difficult conversations, and characters being forced to confront what family really means. The adoption of baby Trey represents not just a happy ending for Johnny and Chanel, but also a profound loss for others who loved him just as deeply. For now, Johnny and Chanel can focus on the joy of welcoming their son home and beginning their journey as parents. Leo, Javi, Ari, and Aaron will have to find ways to heal and move forward, carrying the love they feel for Trey even as they learn to let him go. And EJ will continue to watch from the sidelines, a grandfather in name only, wondering if the promise he made was worth the price he's paying. The story of baby Trey's adoption is far from over. It's really just beginning, and Salem will never be quite the same.